In the great kingdom of Zubi, where the rivers ran wide and the forests stretched far, there lived a poor farmer named Jengo. He owned a small piece of land on the edge of the village, where he planted yams and millet. But no matter how hard he worked, his crops barely gave enough to feed his family. The villagers often mocked him, calling him a fool for believing that hard work alone could change his fate. But Jengo did not let their words break his spirit. Day after day, under the scorching sun and pounding rain, he worked tirelessly, his hands rough from toil, his back aching from labor. He believed that one day something would change. And then it did. One fateful morning, a royal messenger arrived in the village with an urgent announcement. The king had lost the golden key to his treasure room. Without it, he could not access his wealth to reward the people or aid the kingdom. The king declared, "Whoever finds my golden key shall be greatly rewarded." The news sent the entire kingdom into a frenzy. The wealthiest men in the land assembled search parties, hiring trackers and scholars to decipher where the key might be. Villagers combed through fields, rivers, and forests, but days passed, and the key remained lost. Jengo listened as the villagers laughed at him when he said he would search too. "A worthless farmer like you. What could you possibly find?" They sneered. But he ignored them, gripping his old hoe and setting out across his land with unwavering determination. For days he searched, digging through the dirt with blistered hands, moving rocks and checking under trees. Nothing. The weight of exhaustion and hunger gnawed at him, and doubt crept into his mind. But something inside him whispered, "Keep going." Then, on the seventh day, just as the sun began to set behind the hills, Jengo struck the ground with his hoe, and a metallic clink echoed through the silence. His heart pounded as he dropped to his knees, frantically brushing the dirt away. His fingers closed around something solid and smooth. He pulled it free. It was the golden key, gleaming even beneath layers of dirt. His breath hitched. He had found it. Clutching the key tightly, Jengo sprinted towards the palace, his legs weak but his spirit surging with adrenaline. But when he arrived at the grand palace gates, his excitement was short-lived. The guards blocked his way. "Go away, beggar," one of them scoffed. "Do you think the king would let someone like you inside?" Jengo's pulse quickened. He had come too far to be turned away now. "I have found the golden key," he said, his voice firm though his hands trembled. The guards exchanged looks before bursting into laughter. "You, a mere farmer. Do you take us for fools?" One of them shoved him back. Jengo stumbled but did not fall. He straightened his back and held the key up. "If you don't believe me, take me to someone who can." Just then, an old minister, draped in deep blue robes, happened to be passing by. His sharp eyes caught sight of the key in Jengo's hand. He halted. "What is happening here?" the minister demanded. "This farmer claims to have found the golden key," one guard said mockingly. The minister stepped forward, his expression unreadable as he reached for the key. He turned it in his hands, inspecting every curve, every marking. Then his breath caught. "Bring him inside," he commanded at once. The guards hesitated. "But sir..." "Now," the minister snapped. Jengo was ushered into the great hall, where the king sat upon his golden throne. The nobles and wealthy merchants, draped in silk and jewels, sneered as Jengo stepped forward in his torn and dusty clothes. But he did not waver. "Your Majesty," he said, kneeling, "I have found your golden key." A hush fell over the hall. The minister took the key and presented it to the king. The king examined it. Then his face broke into a slow smile. "This is indeed my lost key," he declared. "And this humble farmer has returned it to me." Gasps filled the hall. The nobles shifted uncomfortably. The villagers who had mocked Jengo fell silent. The king stood and faced Jengo. "You have proven that true wealth lies in perseverance and belief in oneself," he said. "You never gave up, even when others doubted you." He then turned to the nobles and the crowd. "Many of you doubted this man because of his status. But let this be a lesson. Greatness does not come from riches, but from determination. True to his word, the king rewarded Jengo with a vast piece of fertile land and a chest of gold. But more than that, he was given the honor of being the king's trusted advisor. No longer was he just a poor farmer. He had become a symbol of persistence and hope. Jengo did not use his new wealth to boast. Instead, he helped the other farmers in the village, teaching them that perseverance and faith in one's hard work could change lives. Those who once laughed at him now looked up to him with admiration. And so, Jengo lived a life of prosperity, not only rich in gold, but in the knowledge that true fortune belongs to those who refuse to give up, even when the world stands against them. And to this day, in the kingdom of Zubi, people tell the tale of the poor farmer who found the golden key, not just to the king's treasure, but to his own destiny.